Chairman, thank you. Thanks to both of you and for your service already to the country and what you've done. General, I want to be able to zero in on some of the things that Senator Cornyn brought up as well on the counter-narcotics work that's happening currently. There are a lot of threats that Americans have around the world. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but people feel what's happening on the streets, and 100,000 families are dealing with a family member that died from illegal narcotics that came into the country last year. So we feel this threat faster than we feel other threats on it. What I'm interested in is what your commitment is to be able to actually go after the information and the infrastructure that's actually bringing these drugs in that are killing Americans every single day.
Senator, I agree with you. This is a national security issue. And from a national security agency perspective, the role of foreign intelligence to be able to understand the threat and communicate that threat to elements that can take action, that will be a priority, Senator, if confirmed.
Okay, I appreciate that. We'll follow up on that in the days ahead. Unfortunately, every director that's a recent director of NSA has dealt with a major security breach within the agency. So you get to walk in and say, okay, not on my watch. So let me just ask you, as you approach trying to deal with how are we not going to have a security breach on your watch, what are your first thoughts about what to do different, how to be able to deal with this?
Senator, the protection of our national security information is critical. Right. Classified in and of itself by its very definition, if disclosed, causes great harm to the nation. So this is paramount for leaders in the national security community. For me, I think about it in two different ways. Personal accountability, so we need to make sure that we have the highest talent, and I'm very confident in the talent we have in the National Security Agency. We have to ensure that continues. And then we have to have technical means to ensure that we are able to be confident in the oversight and the control of classified information. So if confirmed, I'll review all of our current processes and ensure that from a national security agency perspective, that we're doing everything we can, and then we'll partner with the rest of the national security community and the intelligence community to ensure that we're sharing what we believe are best practices.
Yeah, that'd be helpful in the days ahead. Obviously, there's work to be done. Every director has said that. It's a challenge. You're dealing with a lot of people and a lot of complexity, and having the opportunity to be able to verify what's out there and what's not out there is important. There's been this balance between contractors and full-time employees. It's much faster to hire a contractor than get people in immediately and to be able to take care of it. A lot of them have experience in the IC community before, and they're able to get there quickly on it. It's hard to be able to get full-time folks that are there, and then there's different sets of rules on it. How will you strike that balance between the contractor and full-time?
Senator, I do believe it's a balance. And we have to ensure that there are things that from a national security agency perspective, the workforce with the mission focus and the technical capability is a critical asset to the nation. And having them be able to do inherently government functions and to be able to do that in a world-class way is certainly the priority in terms of being able to sustain what world-class foreign intelligence and cybersecurity that NSA provides.
Okay. We're going to count on that in the days ahead as well. You were asked a question just in the pre-questions about describing your view on when it's appropriate to withhold pertinent and timely information from the Congressional Intelligence Committees. You answered appropriately. It's not appropriate to withhold information that's within the jurisdiction of a congressional committee. That may seem like a silly question, but the challenge that we've had around this dais, both sides of the aisle, have been that we would have a hearing in a closed-door setting. We would go through all the different issues, and then within 24 hours, something would be in the New York Times that was not discussed with us, that was clearly known, and it became an issue of we just didn't ask the right question at the right time. And it was like, I would have told you if you would have asked me directly, but we don't know whether to ask people directly. So I think the basis of this question that was coming to you was, we don't want to have to know how to ask the magic question. If there are issues that we need to be aware of, we need to know. And it needs to be forthcoming in an opening statement from you and to say, hey, this is something that's on the horizon. Are we still okay with that?
Senator, if I'm confirmed, I commit to a partnership to ensure that you have the necessary information.
Thank you. We appreciate that very much, and we look forward to that partnership. Mr. Casey, I need to know, is this nomination really a discreet way to get out from under Senator Warner's authority?
100%, sir.
That was what I assumed. That was the pre-question that had not been asked to you directly on this. I do want to ask just a philosophical statement from you as well. Because the counterintelligence efforts, and you approached this in your opening statement as well, is you made the statement, counterintelligence efforts, I'm going to abbreviate some of it, is to deflect, understand, anticipate, and hopefully deter foreign intelligence efforts. I want to drill down on the last of them. philosophically, strategically, what does it mean to deter foreign intelligence efforts to you?
Thank you for the question, Senator. The way I think about it is success looks like when we get intel that the foreign intelligence services went somewhere else to try to steal secrets, that they thought it was too hard here and they were too likely to get caught. And that covers a variety of efforts across the security, counterintelligence, offensive counterintelligence activities, but that when we put those things together, they just decide they can't operate here.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that and appreciate your engagement, obviously your service here to the committee as well, and the way you've handled so many issues in the days ahead as you're dealing with private industry and talking about threats that they're facing. I would encourage you to do what has been done in the past and to make sure that private industry is fully aware that any of their cooperation, their data is voluntary in the way they share that and engage. And so that their rights are also protected because they're a victim, not now suddenly to be victimized by their own government again by having to share information in ways that are not comfortable or PII and such. And so there's this strange balance that you've got to be able to work to be able to help protect those companies, individuals, and American citizens as the attack is coming to private business, but also protecting the rights of those individuals as well.
Thank you for that, Senator.
Thank you.
And while I will take issue with his characterization on Mr. Casey, I would say I want to double down on your comment to General Hawk. I mean, you're going to find no better ally than this committee. But that trust, and it's happened with many of the folks who've appeared before us, disappears if we don't ask the magic question and we then subsequently find there was a piece of information that somebody had and didn't reveal to us when they had an opportunity.
100%. And may I remind you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Casey was under oath when he answered that first question.